So I'll tell you a quick story about training, and about half of my friends have always been active or former active duty military personnel. I just have the highest regard for those that train and serve and are always ready at moment's notice to step into harm's way so that free people can remain free. And back in 2007, I was petitioning because of my age. I was over 40 or 41, so I was past the enlistment age for the Army and the Marine Corps. But we were having a problem at that time over in the sandboxes in Iraq during the push in 2007. We were not getting enough Marines and soldiers out there on the deck to stop the terrorists, the insurgents. So we were having to resend our young men and women back too quick, too often, without enough time outside of the battlefield. So I petitioned the Marine Commandant, petitioned President George Bush at the time, and Senator Webb, that was the head of the Senate Arms Committee, requesting for an exception and giving recommendations from other military personnel that were recommending my enlistment and to go over the standard cutoff age period, because I was able to do the PT at the qualifications, exceeding qualifications outside of MEPS and outside of the quals that occur at the end of boot camp. So in the middle of that time, one of my very good friends was Marine Staff Sergeant Mike Gilliland, and Gilliland wanted to give me kind of a taste to get me to back off my idea, because I was at 40, I think I was 40, 41 at the time. I can't remember if that was the right age, but anyway, I was at that age that was above the enlistment age, and so he pulled over Marine Corporal Hector Diaz, and I knew Heck, had worked with him before. We worked out together, and Hector was always running long-range runs in his combat boots, and I already had extreme admiration for him, being that he was also a Texan. So Staff Sergeant pulled over the corporal and said, "Hey, why don't you take out Moreland on some runs and break him, show him that he is too old and he doesn't have what it takes to do the long mileage runs, and especially 105-degree Texas heat." So so Hector took me out. Granted, I wasn't in combat boots, just tennis shoes, and I couldn't stay with him, but I hung behind him and I did all the mileage that he did. And this goes on for a couple months, and I'll let Heck jump in here and confirm this when he sees this. But we stayed together, and I finally was able to work my civilian carcass up to where I could actually keep pace with a battle-hardened warrior that had been on door-kicking teams there in Iraq on let's see, I think it was Fallujah or Falala or something like that. So anyway, the point of the matter is when you get challenged, even if the challenge scares the hell out of you, and even if the individuals are full-blown Marine warriors, don't ever step away from the challenge. Use the challenge. Step into it. Step into your fear and risk failing. Risk quitting. I threw up when I was out there on the perimeter running with Heck. I came in many days, I was so beat up I couldn't hardly walk, and I kept showing up the next day and showing up the next day and showing up the next day. And that's how you succeed in life. It's about grit. It's about the refusal to quit. It's about the refusal to acquiesce and to give up. It just means showing up every day. When you're up against competition, you never know when they're about to break, so you have to stay in there. You have to keep going. You can't fail on yourself, because it creates a pattern inside of your mind that's going to allow you to break on other things in your life, whether those be challenges in relationships, challenges in business, challenges that are financial, economic, business-wise. That's why I use physical challenge out here, because it continues to condition and prep me for all the other challenges in the other areas of my life. So find your grit. And the grit is a simple thing. Find a bigger reason to never quit. A bigger reason. And back then, my bigger reason, my big why that I would never quit is because I'd never set that example for my children, that their dad was an average man and that they would be embarrassed about who I was at the performance that I did. So, hoorah.